What's up, family? Welcome back to Real Talk and Healthy Food. It is your girl. I'm gonna come through as quickly as I can and get this cracking. We're gonna talk about Nick Cannon today, and hopefully, I'm on my shit enough to really kick some knowledge to y'all. And um, let's just get into the shit, shall we? And before I do, I'm gonna get into my kidding around critique lip gloss. Shout out to my girl. Soon I will be having my own lip gloss. Now let's get into the shits. So I'm gonna run this clip, and basically the rundown is Nick Cannon has gotten dropped from Viacom due to um, anti-Semitic language on his canon classes. And this is where apparently from what I seen, this is stemming from. So he had an interview with Professor Griff, where Professor Griff has been silenced in the past, exposing the music and entertainment industry, exposing that basically these corporations are ran by evil Zionist Jews. I mean, boom, that's what it is, right? I mean, so he just, he's been exposing that shit since the 80s. And so he was basically breaking it down and basically breaking down why he was silenced behind that. I mean, it's basically the same reason why they silenced Louis Farrakhan as well, is because I mean it's like as soon as you mention them, it's like damn, I wish black folks had that power. But it's like as soon as you mention them, that is the issue. They have so much power, like they just silence the fuck out of motherfuckers and shit. So I guess that was the case, and boom, here it is. It happened to Nick Cannon, and there has been plenty of cases where people have been bullied, harassed, silenced, death threats, all the shits because they come together like motherfucking Voltron and take motherfuckers down. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, right before my eyes, you guys, that's what made me want to come on here. Right before my eyes, that video was taken down. I went in to see what was up, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just watch this little clip. The little clip I'm gonna show you. I got two clips I'm gonna show you. I watched a little 1 minute clip, then I watched a 10 minute clip. Bitch, the shit was gone right after that. Bitch, 11 minutes later, the hour and 30-minute interview was gone. So they said that they took it down due to YouTube's rule. You know what? YouTube makes all kind of rules and shit like that. And I'm gonna have to mosey on over to some other shit because they're trying to stop my flow. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, make sure that you are subscribed because my Care Bears are letting me know that they get unsubscribed. They don't get no notifications that I done posted something and shit like that. So if you really fucks with me, just make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're already subscribed and make sure that you have not been unsubscribed because I'm a truth seeker, a truth teller, and they don't like motherfuckers like me. So eventually, soon, I'm gonna have to mosey on over to a platform where they fucks with somebody like me. You feel me? I don't really do it for the dough, but I do want this to be another stream of income because I do enjoy this. But I've been kind of falling back by the wayside because I have other things that I got to get together and, preparing to get my channel where I want it to be. But I had to jump in and talk about this. So, with all of that said, let's get into the clips and get into the things that I know, and we'll move forward from there. I'm going to start this clip right in the middle. You can find this on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Nick Cannon anti-Semitic. It's a 9 minute, 13-second clip because they totally dismantled the whole interview because they don't want you to have the full context of what it is. Just like how they did Farrakhan, they don't want you to understand the full context of the conversation. So, but I'm gonna now we're smart and thinking people here. So I'm gonna run the clip from the most important part, the part that I feel is most important, and why I feel that they banned him, fired him, and did all the shits. For some motherfuckers, to be so sensitive, to have gone through so much shit. I feel like black people went through harsher shit than them, and that's just me. We're literally still getting murdered on TV. We're getting murdered so much on TV that we're becoming numb to the shit. So I can't really feel like ooh la la, with them when we get called niggers and shit all day long, all day strong. They got all kind of video clips of Joe Biden calling black folks niggers and shit, and his crime bill and all this shit. And meanwhile, somebody could state true facts about the history of a people, and then boom, some major ass shit happens to that person. I think that is so fucked up. But let's roll this clip.
That time, because this was what, 80, 89, 90?
Yeah, about 80, 89, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you just said people's names.
And I laid it out. And I showed them books.
Right.
And I looked it up and showed it to them. This paragraph says this. These people control film industry, TV,
right,
music industry.
And as we know right now,
these are the players.
When we talk about media, there's 6 major corporations that control all of media, beyond the music industry. And this is, you were laying that construct down back then, and naming names, calling them to the table. But even as we sit right here today, there's 6 major corporations that control everything that is delivered to you as we speak.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
So 6 people,
and we should all know this by now,
in this room and decide everything that we experience as far as entertainment, watching the movies, reading the magazines. 6 people.
Right.
I laid that out. It wasn't a Jewish conversation.
Right.
It was about the music industry. The first 20 minutes of the conversation, we was laughing, joking, tapping each other up, talking.
Right.
His girlfriend walked in. We were talking about David Mills.
Right.
He dropped dead on a movie set.
Right.
His girlfriend walks in, and his girlfriend's white and Jewish. Well, I'm from Roseville, Long Island. We don't have no experience with white people. So I'm like,
except for Howard Stern.
Exactly.
not Howard Stern.
So when she came and sat down, complexion of the conversation changed. It became more, and I'm like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A couple of times he even pressed the pause button on the cassette.
Yeah, that privilege starts speaking.
Right. So now he had to change his tone because now the white Jewish girlfriend is sitting next to him.
Right.
And she's getting offended.
Right.
By me calling out the Cohens and the Moskowitz and the blacks and the.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, but still no hatred involved. I'm just laying the history.
Yeah, we're just speaking facts.
When I finished the interview, he admitted and said to himself, you know something, this is the kind of stuff that can get you in a lot of trouble.
And because this is one of the reasons why I feel honored to speak with you, but I feel like it's so prevalent and so on time, because what we're dealing with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan being silenced on Facebook and other platforms.
Right. Neutralized. Right.
Which COINTELPRO is still active to this day. And COINTELPRO, for the young people that don't know, the counterintelligence program. And when you say counter, it's like, because we have so much intelligence and information, they want to counter that by destroying us, by neutralizing us, by silencing us. So what we're speaking of today, because they attempted to silence Minister Farrakhan right now, which is COINTELPRO actions and activations, and they did the exact same thing to you. Why? And this is just a question that I have, and even coming from that aspect of if the true children of Israel, if we're speaking of the Jewish community, we're speaking of the Abrahamic faith that Islam comes from, that Judaism comes from, that Christianity comes from, all comes from Abraham. And we are all speaking of brotherhood and unity. Why is this division? Why is it such a problem? Why is there so much fear, specifically in the black community, in the Jewish community? And I'm kind of, this is a leading question which I want to get to, but why is it such a problem to speak the truth?
I think it's a problem it became a problem for us because of the propaganda machine. But it's more of a problem for them.
Right.
Because they've taken our birthright.
Right. They don't want us to be them.
Not deeper than that. They don't want us to be us. They don't want you wrapping your head. They don't want.
Wow.
Nah. They don't. Now because you recognize.
Right.
And now they identified you. Oh man, Nick knows.
Right.
Who he is, and then now, flip side that you know they are.
Who are they? When we speak of, because this is where it truly is. When we talk about the six corporations, when we go as deep as the Rothschild, centralized banking, those the 13.
That's where he's fucking up.
Even outside of America, when we talk about the people who, if we were truly the children of Israel, and we're defining who the Jewish people are, because I feel like if we actually can understand that construct, then we can see that there is no hate involved. When we talk about the lies, the deceit, how the fake dollar controls all of this, then maybe we can get to the reason why they wanted to silence you, why they wanted to silence Minister Farrakhan, and they want to throw that you're having hate speech when it's never hate speech, when it's not. You can't be anti-Semitic when the Semitic, when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be. That's our birthright.
That's our birthright.
That's right. So shout out to We Woke. Shout out to We Woke Now. That's where I got this clip. Make sure you show them some love. You know I like to find easy to go to clips. I wanted to show you that clip. Let's get into the next one. This source comes from the Discrepant. Uh, Crazy name, brother. But thank you for the source. So this is a 1 minute clip, and they're saying this is another one of the anti-Semitic comments. So let's get into this. This is a minute and a half. It's nothing.
We call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is the only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, fight or flight in order to survive. Exactly. So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people. Right. They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. They had, because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. So they're acting as animals. Right. So
It's
they're
facts.
the ones that
Like, what the
actually
fuck?
closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this I won't say warrior, but they built up such this conquering barbaric mentality.
I just got to say all facts right there. Like, if you are a person just like us now today, uh, African Americans, if we're far removed from our ancestry. So if you take somebody and put them in an environment where they're forced to survive, where they're forced to be on survival mode at all times, when they're either, oh, you know what? Scratch that. I'll use me in my life specifically. When I was in the trap, when I was making moves, when you're in that mindset, when you're in survive, for survival mode all day, every day, all day, every day, you're gonna move accordingly. You're gonna be like, give me mine, give me mine, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're gonna move like that. You're gonna be like that. It's survival of the motherfucking fittest. And if you don't eat, then you don't fucking eat, nigga. And I'm gonna take yours, and that's that. Period. You feel me? So when you come from that, and we clearly as Americans have that barbaric type mentality, because that's what it is. That is the mindset of where historically the people who pillaged and plundered this country from the natives of this country, we have adapted that barbaric mentality. And a lot of us, like myself, are searching to get back to our natural inclination spiritually so we could get back to the people that we're meant to be, right? But realistically, that's facts. And I don't know why those facts that they listed got him so fucked up. That's fucking historical motherfucking facts. Like, I just ran through some shit before I came on here. That's why I'm posting this mad late. But I just went through just to make sure I knew my history good, like the fall of Rome, the after the fall of Rome, into the Dark Ages, into the Middle Ages, into the medieval times. Those was fucked up times. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the fall of Rome. You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, Rome had pillaged and plundered and took land from people where they developed their Roman Empire. And once they were fat and weak off their fucking greed, those tribes came back through and took their motherfucking shit back. And after the last emperors that were the last standing leader, weak ass leadership that was still standing, after they finally fell, the people it's like, for example, once America does fall, right? Once America does fall, this is what's gonna fucking happen. So you better be on fucking deck. Once America falls, it's gonna be like just like the fall of Rome. We got all our little states in our country. So Kentucky's gonna be on their shit, Indiana's gonna be on their shit, and all these little subdivisions. We'll just take Louisville, for example. One side of the city's gonna be on their one shit, the other side of the city's gonna be on their other shit, and people's gonna move accordingly. Survival of the motherfucking fittest. And that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? And there was people who were strong arming motherfuckers, and a lot of people got murked, put them in the dirt. And that's what the fuck it was. You know what I'm saying? Because there was no government. And I might be saying this loose, and I'm not saying it all like with all the fancy words. I'm just kicking it for what the fuck it really is. Because ain't all those fancy words gonna mean a motherfucking thing, right? When that dollar finally drops and it don't mean shit, and the bartering systems are no longer working, and a motherfucker got a shotgun to your face and they want to take your motherfucking shit. So you better get strapped the fuck up for real and get down with the motherfuckers who you close to. For real, for real. So all that fancy smancy talk ain't gonna mean a motherfucking thing when the dollar and the crypto dollar and all that shit don't mean nothing. Fact. So we're talking about those times, okay? So boom. So what Professor Griff was kicking to them, are kicking to us in the Candace class, was facts. Them motherfuckers in them Scandinavian, Nordic motherfuckers of European descent was living through some harsh ass motherfucking times. Why is that such a hard pill to swallow? We're living in hard ass times right now. So what the fuck? So anyway, let's get into the shits, because I'm gonna read to you what Viacom said, and I'm gonna read to you what Nick had to say, and then I'm gonna get back into how I feel about the shits, and then we're just gonna wrap it up with a big bow and call it a night because we got shit to do. So this is from a spokesperson. I'm getting this from the Shade Room, but this was the easiest and quickest place that I could get it to. I advise you to back it up and read it on your own. It may be longer than this. It may not be. I don't give a fuck personally, but I'm just going to read to you what I found, okay? So this is a statement from Viacom CBS about Nick Cannon attributed to Viacom CBS spokesperson. So Viacom CBS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. First of all, let's get into what the fuck. First of all, let me pull that up right quick. Let me pull this up right quick. Semitic Semitic and Semitic peoples and Semitic languages don't got a motherfucking thing to do with no Jewish, white, Scandinavian, Germanic, uh, 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 motherfucking Italian, French, English, no kind of Dutch, Belgium, all them motherfuckers. Semitic don't got nothing to do with not a nan, not a white person, not any variation of a white that you could possibly motherfucking think of, okay? That's number motherfucking one. Number two, let's just read the definition. Surprise, surprise, in those motherfucking eyes. What's that say right there? Doesn't that say Afro, the Asiatic black man? Okay. Doesn't that say Afro first? Which is a clear indication, right? That the region geographically would be centered somewhere in the region in Africa. Okay, so we don't even got to go into that. I advise you to Google it. I went into the shit just to ensure that I wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those who's going to go to the etymology of words and shit like that. I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people who's looking for the next planet that's renting right now. How much is the rent in Mars? Because I don't want nothing to do with none of you motherfuckers. That's just me. Okay? Enough about that. But I'm just saying, it says the Semitic languages previously and also Syro-Arabian languages are a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family originating in the Middle East that are spoken by more than 330 million people across much of the Western Asian, North Africa, and the Horn of Africa and etc. X motherfucking cetera. I even pulled up the maps. Look at the maps. The maps is all up in the motherland. I don't know if you can see it. It's all up in the motherland. It doesn't have a goddamn thing to do with any variation of white person that you could possibly motherfucking imagine. Okay, the Czech, Russian, none of them motherfuckers. Okay. So how you gonna be anti-Semitic if it ain't got nothing to do with a Jewish motherfucker? See, people like to make up shit to fit their motherfucking narratives. That's the problem. And what I'm coming to find out is these are some lying ass motherfuckers. Now that we cleared that up, let's get back into this statement. Okay? So they denounce all forms of anti-Semitism, which they deem as Jewish racism. And we're just going to loosely say that as the basis of the definition because that's how they use that term that they made up, that it doesn't really mean shit. We have spoken with Nick Cannon about an episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class on YouTube, which promoted hateful speech. I just showed you the clip like the juiciest parts. Bitch, where? Okay? And spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. While we support ongoing education, apparently not, and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him. See, the thing is, they don't want to admit that it's us. They don't want the shit. They don't want us to be, they don't want it. They don't want the historical fact. They don't want Professor Griff, Farrakhan, and Nick, and people like me, and millions and thousands of other people who have videos on YouTube for you to have the understanding that we are the originators, even um in the Jewish world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna brush up on my history of that because when it's in my head, it feels more organized. but comes out more jumbled than what I actually know. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see it in my mind's eye. I understand it in my mind's eye, but it comes out all fucked up. So I need to figure out a better way of verbalizing what I know. But I know that this right here is some bullshit. But let's keep reading the bullshit, right? Oh, it's got me kind of grouchy. I'm shaking. And so they're terminating our relationship with him. We are committed to doing better in our response to incidents of anti Semitism, racism, and bigotry. VIACOM CBS will have further announcements on our efforts to combat hate of all kinds. You know, they real quick. That's what fucks me up. These channels, these media sources, but because they are the ones who run it. They the six motherfuckers who run the shit. So I love how when it comes to them, they are boom, they are so on it, honey. I mean, flash, flash in your ass, right? But when it comes to us and we still getting murked, we're getting hung from trees in 2020. We can't even blink wrong about the Zionist Jews. Meanwhile, niggas is hanging from trees. I wish they had that same energy for us. Hell, I wish black people had that same energy for us. Okay? Now let's read Nick's response to this. Now his response is hella long, but I'm gonna go through it, and I advise y'all to go through it. It's on YouTube via the Shade Room. So shout out to the Shade Room for the tea. And his goes as follows: Truth and reconciliation. I know though, as he got growner and smarter and like went to school, like the more smarter he gets, the more finer he gets. And it's like for some reason, the more books he reads, the more buff he gets. I don't know if I'm just tripping or just kind of thirst. I don't know. Let's get into the shit. Truth and reconciliation. I am deeply saddened in a moment so close to reconciliations great reconciliation that the powers that be misused an opportunity, misused an important moment for us to all grow closer together and learn more about one another. Instead, the moment was stolen and hijacked to make an example of an outspoken black man. I will not be bullied, silenced, or continuously oppressed by any organization, group, or corporation. I know that's right. I am disappointed that Viacom does not understand or respect the power of the Black community. I mean, because they don't like us. I was a member of the Viacom family for over 20 years since I was a minor. We worked together to make great positive entertainment, and I was handed many opportunities that I'm grateful for. At 17 years old, I was deemed the youngest staff writer in TV history on their various Nickelodeon series. In 2009, the wonderful and amazing Saima Zargani, I might be saying it wrong, but oh well, blessed me with the opportunity to become the youngest television chairman in history. I know that's right. Placing the teen division of Viacom solely in my hands as an executive. She, along with the strong and brilliant Marva Smalls, guided me through the corporate infrastructure that at times felt overwhelming due to many doubting my abilities as a black man, which they were probably grouchy because here it is, his 17-year-old ass from the hood in Cali, and he's given like this hella huge ass platform, and they were like, what his black ass doing over here? We don't fuck with them motherfuckers. The fuck is that about, right? Make sure you chop kidding around good. So anyway, I am forever grateful to them for their love and kindness as leaders and their matriarch like care over for me over the years. With their support, I rose to the occasion at the Viacom, I rose to the occasion at Viacom, creating philanthropic opportunities and in a excuse me, in award programming such as the Halo Awards, which awarded youth grants for their nonprofit organizations to change the world and in everything from bigotry, homophobia. I wish it would have been racism, bigotry, homophobia. I feel like should be last. Your sexuality is not, well, anyway, that's just my opinion though. From bigotry, homophobia, racism, and even attempting to find a cure for AIDS and cancer. These young people had big ideas, big hearts, and more importantly, big optimism, just like myself. We successfully brought the world closer together for over 9 years with every big name celebrity and major corporation you could think of. Truly one of my proudest accomplishments in entertainment. Not because of ratings or numbers, but because I was able to empower the next generation. My time at Viacom also birthed one of my other greatest creative accomplishments. Their their longest running comedy series and the most successful hip hop programming in television history, okay, I'm stupid. Wildin' Out, and an idea in which I self financed out of my pocket and presented to MTV. I created a $1 billion brand that expanded across a multi tiered empire that is still Viacom's biggest digital brand, touring business. Hold on. Digital brand, touring business, talent discovery, and incubation system and successful restaurant franchise. God dang it. He's bringing in dust. Based on trust and empty promises, my ownership was swindled away from me. For Viacom to be so deceptive is no surprise. That's how they is. They have been mistreating and robbing our community for years, underpaying talent on their biggest brands like Love and Hip Hop. I mean, like, where was all that energy? But okay, never mind. Um, all of BET programming. Well, Boondocks put us onto that back in the early 2000s. I mean, but nobody heard Huey when he was starving himself to death. Anyway, and of course, Wildin' Out. I don't have to defend myself here. The proof is in the history. I believe that the corporation was becoming more progressive and willing to create helpful spaces and dialogue in these difficult and uncertain times of 2020. Instead, they chose to recently ban all advertisement that supported. Wait, run that back. I read this earlier, but instead, they chose to recently ban all advertisement that supported George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, who we are all still seeking justice for. So basically, Viacom is going to strip away the advertisements that are supporting the injustice for both of their murders. So that is shitty of a company. That's like my company saying, we don't give a fuck that y'all black asses is going through all this heartache and turmoil. We just don't give a fuck at all. I mean, that like basically that's what they're doing. We don't support you. We don't give a fuck that your black ass got to worry about that kind of shit. And good luck and make sure you ain't late. Like that's what that sounds like to me. Um, I also went for we're all seeking justice for. I also went as far to reach out to Miss Shyree Redstone, Shari, and then Redstone is her last name, the owner of Viacom. I will be researching you, Miss Redstone, because I'm sure your antennas is in some shit. Um, to have a conversation of reconciliation and actually apologize if I said anything that pained or hurt her or her community. Dead silence! Exclamation point. So that's when I realized they don't want a conversation or growth. They wanted to put the young Negro in his place, not the young Negro in his place. And you know that's what they wanted to do. They had to teach that nigger his place. They wanted to show me who is boss, hang me out to dry, and make me an example of anyone who says something they don't agree with. But like the great Shirley Chisholm, I am unbossed, unbought, and unbothered. I know that's right. Chisholm or Chisholm, I might be saying it wrong. I respectfully stepped away from oppressive corporations in the past. NBC threatened and mistreated me for years, but I was the bigger person and abandoned an 8-figure salary. 8 figures. Bitch had to think about the numbers. 8 figures. Nah, but if they treat you like shit, you got to bounce. Ain't no money gonna buy that. Um, on their number one hit show, America's Got Talent, and currently stand by my friend and Queen. I don't know about no Queen. I stand by my friend Gabby. He says Queen Gabrielle Union, but I don't see it for her in her fight against oppression. Although they did do her greasy by saying her hair's too ethnic, bitch, you would have had me fucked up. um Whoever would have came to my room would have had a whole problem. A whole motherfucking problem. For real. But I don't like her, so I kind of don't care. I mean, I care about the problem, but I just don't like her. I took my talents in executive creativity to my open-minded and willing partners at the Fox Television Network to create the current number one hit show on television, The Masked Singer. I know that's right. In which I hosted and executive produced. We are also gearing up to launch a daily talk show based in the historic community of Harlem. You need to, because we need it to be black again. Where the ultimate goal is to bring people closer together during these difficult times. He means during gentrification. Um, right now is the time for strong voices and compassionate thinkers to step up, create a dialogue of healing. Dr. King said, "We must learn to grow together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools." Ironically, at that time, our government called him the most dangerous Negro in the country. Fact, facts. I love how white folks love not him, but like white folks love to be like, well, Dr. King was whoopty scoop, but meanwhile, when Dr. King was kicking and pushing around, y'all wasn't fucking with him. So have several motherfucking seats. Uh, the fuck, and labeled him a terrorist. As we all know, Hollywood and the media is a dirty game. No, he said a dirty business. Still, I honestly can't believe that Viacom had such poor counsel that would allow them to make such a divisive decision in the midst of protests and civil uprising within our current pandemic. Truly, he said pandemic, and he didn't say pandemic. Truly an unwise decision, facts. For them to take it one step further and flat out lie in their official press release, saying that I didn't attempt to reconcile the situation, when on two separate occasions I specifically acknowledged and openly requested a forum to be corrected. Malcolm X said it best. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. It will have you hating the people being oppressed and loving the people doing the oppressing, making the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent. Oh, you know what just ran through my mind? The war on terror. You remember in 03, 02? 01, 02, 2001, 2002, 2003, after 9/11, and the media was doing the war on terror. Dun, 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 dun. You remember that shit? Well, I remember that shit so vividly because I had nightmares all the time. Every day I had nightmares every fucking day. Especially after the bombs, when they dropped the bombs on Baghdad, I had nightmares all the time. And if not every day, literally like every other day, I had really bad nightmares about during that time frame. And when he said that, reminded me of how they were shoveling that shit down our throat. The war on terror, the war on terror. Like, and literally it was us. Like, literally, it was our government, like, totally plotting on us for the bag, and they totally, like, came up on our fear, just like they're doing right now. That's so ill. He said that. Malcolm X said that, like, he didn't even get to live through the ill shit. Like, he lived through the ill shit, but he didn't live through the ill shit. Like, we're going through some ill shit. I wonder what he would say about all these masks and, the war on viruses. I don't know what the fuck. I don't watch no news. You're not gonna trick me, motherfuckers. But I'm sorry, that just flashed through my mind. But he said making the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent. Facts. My hope and original goal was to use this moment to show healing and acceptance and pray that Viacom will use their powers for good. Instead, I am now receiving death threats, hate messages, calling me an ungrateful nigger and beyond. What the fuck? Mm-mm. Viacom's, where is it? Goal to keep me from providing for my family and lineage will be foiled. They can try to kick me while I'm down or force me to kiss the master's feet in public for shame and ridicule, but instead I stand firm on my square with my fist in the air, repeating my mantra, you can't fire a boss in in a in a pleasant turn of events, and the best blessing in all of this hurtful attack and is the outpouring of love and support from the Jewish community. What if it's because they love that song, I'm a gigolo spending lots of okay, nothing, I'm just a little jokey joke. um, but he's getting a mad love from the Jewish community. It has been amazing. I have spoken with many rabbis, clergy, professors, and co-workers who offer their sincere help. I must apologize to my Jewish brothers and sisters for putting them in such a painful position, which was never my intention. But I know this whole situation has hurt many people, and together we will make it right. Let me jump in really quick when he said that putting them in a painful position. There are Jewish people out here who go for what is right and would hear what Professor Griff had said and been like facts. Like motherfucking fact. I seen that with my own eyes when it was like 3 or 4 years ago, because I kept hearing like people, I forgot what I was looking at. People kept talking about like how they don't like Jews and stuff. And I couldn't understand why. Like, I thought they was the cutest of the white boys at the time. And I was just like, well, why don't they like the Jews? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's hella motherfucking weird. And then, it was documentary after documentary after documentary. And I was like, oh, it's not those Jews. It's those Jews. So I got a better understanding. Back to what he said. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay. Painful position. It was never his intention. But I know this whole situation has hurt many people, and together we will make it right. I have dedicated my daily efforts to continuing conversations to bring the Jewish community and the African American community closer together. Why don't we focus on us right now? We got a lot going on. Embracing our differences and sharing our commonalities. He's bigger than me. Through the guidance of my multicultural team, which embodies several people from the Jewish community, specifically Michael Goldman. That's such a Jewish name. My business partner for 3 decades, who discovered me at the Hollywood Improv when I was doing stand up as a kid. Plus, I love those Jewish people who roast their own selves. Through thick and thin, he's been by my side, yelling at me when I talk too much and laughing with me as we've always overcome adversity together. I love you, my brother. Thank you for helping me become the man that I am today. And as we embark on this next incredible journey together, we will bring our two persecuted communities together like we always planned. He and so many gracious people from the Jewish community are showering me with love and um, helping to guide me to the promised land. Literally, I'm excited to announce that I have been invited to Israel, which is a lifelong dream where I will receive teachings, lessons in the truth about the Jewish history. Mm. As someone who is in the pursuit for my PhD in theology and divinity and just received a degree in criminal justice from the great Howard University, this will be an enriching, enlightening, and overall exciting trip. As for Viacom, who is now on the wrong side of history, I will continue to pray for you. I don't blame any individual. I blame the oppressive and racist infrastructure. Systematic racism is what this world was built on, and the subject in which I was attempting to highlight in the recent clips that have been circulating from my podcast. If I have furthered the hate speech, I wholeheartedly apologize. But he didn't though. But now I am the one making demands. I demand full ownership of my $1 billion Wall and Out brand that I created, and they will continue to misuse and destroy without my leadership. They gonna turn it into some. I hope everybody quits flat out. I demand that the hate and backdoor bullying cease while we're at it. Now that the truth is out, I demand the apology. Yo, that was real lengthy, and I know my antics made it even longer, but it's like, okay, first let me back up the teams. Let me mention that long pause with Israel. Okay, Israel and Palestine have been having this ongoing beef since like hella long, like way before the 1940s and shit. Basically, Israel jacked Palestine for their shit. And I just don't understand why. I mean, I'll never get it. I feel like it's simple as fuck. They're exactly the same kind of people except with two different flags. And Israel is like this big ass bully, like flat the fuck out. And they got their little spidey hands all up in America. And I don't know what it is about them where everybody got to kiss their motherfucking ass. But I just can't appreciate it flat out. Like, why are you so special? Like, what makes you so motherfucking ill? Like, I don't get it. Like, to me, y'all like the way they move, it looks like they mad. Like, I don't know. I know what I want to say, but I feel like they might do my little petty shit harsher than they did his shit. And he got a whole $1 billion ass company. But I just don't like the way they move. Like, how come y'all move mad fraudulent? Why can't y'all motherfuckers get on deck? Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm oversimplifying some shit that I don't understand, but I'm just like, it's simple, nigga. Give the shit back to who it belongs to. Break bread and keep it pushing. They literally eat the same kind of foods, listen to the same kind of music. They look alike. They do all the same shit. Like, a little comedy break of it all when Adam Sandler made Don't Mess with the Zohan. If you've seen Don't Mess with the Zohan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you live on the East Coast anywhere and you've been in New York, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I might be like oversimplifying it or verbalizing it wrong, but literally they're fucking identical. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop playing fucking games. Like, and now they got this whole war, this whole everything, and it's just like, y'all motherfuckers is stupid as fuck. Like, this shit could be, that's like somebody coming in here taking my whole motherfucking shit and being like, bitch, this mine, and I'm calling it uh uh, not real talk and healthy food, real talk and vegan food, bitch. This is real talk and vegan food. It's like, bitch, it's real talk and healthy food. It's the same shit. Like, it's like, what? No, it's real talk and vegan food. We don't eat honey. Like, bitch, what? Like, it's like, it just doesn't, I don't know. But I hope that he kind of comes to that realization on that trip when they're giving him the history and shit. Like, I was messing around. A little sidebar note. I was messing around with this guy who was from Israel, and he was in the army, and he was an older guy, a older guy, a lot older than me, and I guess I liked the older guy, okay, and he was handsome and everything, and he was balling in the mix, you know what I'm saying, and he did really nice. He was really really nice to me, you know what I'm saying, and I'm pretty much like, if you brown, you can get down. If you white, I'm pretty much alright, but that's just me, you know what I'm saying. So and we talked about that, and I was just like, well, he didn't have an explanation. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, because I'm not really coming to no solution or whatever. But I wanted to mention to you guys, like, even the older generation in Israel, he has to be like in his mid 50s or whatnot. And yeah, mid 50s. Like, he's up there in age. I can't remember how old he is, but he's an older guy that looks young and acts young and shit. And I think because he was born right when the shit went down, he doesn't have an understanding of why somebody my age, who's just like for righteousness, period, is like, well, why don't they just give them their shit back? Like, what's the big deal? You know? He's more like, he like extra rides hard for his country, and his country, and it's just like, he just doesn't get it. And I haven't talked to anyone from Palestine, but I've seen a whole lot of videos and documentaries and shit like that, and they just want their shit back, and I feel that, like, you know. So I don't know, but that's just a whole nother topic in itself. Going back to the subject at hand, oh my God, this turned out to be way longer than I wanted it to be. And if you watch this far, you are the illest, because your girl is getting tired. But I'm just saying, like, how can a motherfucker who's black be anti Semitic when literally it doesn't have anything to do with the Jewish community? And shout out to the Jewish community who has the mental capacity to understand what time the fuck it is. You know, who understands what Professor Griff and Nick Cannon was talking about during that class, who isn't so high on their own shit, that they're not so high on the smell of their own shit that they cannot recognize the truth when it's right in front of them. I really cannot stand people that is like that. Where you, like, some people I had to block recently off my channel, where you lay out the truth and the factuals right in their face, and they come ask you stupid ass motherfucking questions. And it's like, were you not paying attention, or do you just not get it? And then got the nerve to get smart with you, or get mad with you after you done laid out the factuals. And and it's not like their question is like humble, or they're really trying to find something out. It's like they're coming at you like you fucked up. And it's like, why are you coming at me mad aggressive and you sound like a dumbass? How you gonna be dumb and smart at the same time? How you gonna be dumb than a motherfucker and a smart ass? That does not make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like, I don't know. It's just so sad because as an African American, right? Or whatever the fuck I really am, right? I just like to be me, like for real. Cause it's so sad because we don't really have much history. We could only go off what our family tells us. And then we always run into these roadblocks, you know what I'm saying? And we always, like, black people always want to identify with all these other cultures because we don't have any history of our own. And then when you get into learning about history and you see that black people are all over the fucking world, we're like the originators all over the fucking world, it makes it even more disheartening for someone like me, and a little bit more sad, because it's like, damn, we could have connections literally any and everywhere, you know. And like, even within my family, when my peoples did the DNA test, the testing, like, nobody really was interested in the African side. They were more interested in the Irish and the this and the that. And it's just like, okay, but even in that history, the originators are black too. So it's like, can we get back to this African side, which is the majority, and kind of figure out where we really from? Yeah, so I don't know. It's just, you know what, Nick, keep your head up, brother. Keep kicking facts. It ain't like you need the dough. I hope you get your shit back. You know, I hope you get your shit back. Keep fighting the good fight just on the strength of your name alone. I know you ain't gonna give up to my family. The cannons don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, flat out, you know what I'm saying? I hope you get your shit back, and keep fighting the good fight. I don't want to put it out there, but I hope they don't Prince you or Michael Jackson your ass. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you get this shit while you're young, and I hope that you still working on that Dr. Sebi movie too. So what's up with that too? Don't let this shit distract you from your Dr. Sebi shit either. So that's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, man, what a fucked up predicament, man. And it's just so fucked up how people got so much energy for the Jewish community, how they be ready to just rah rah rah. Even my own fam, even some the ones who's not on that, they be so ready to ride for the Jewish community, but like, oh, pish posh with us, and we're literally still hanging from trees in 2020. So that's all I'm trying to say. They're murdering people in broad daylight, but we're supposed to be like, ooh, ah, for them. I'm sorry, like, I'm not sorry. Like, what, can we just have more for us? Like, without the LGBT community, without the Jewish community, can the black people have that same energy for us? Can black people get that same energy that the Jewish community get? Can black people get the same energy that the LGBT community get? When I say faggot, can we get that same energy when a motherfucker calls me a nigger? Can we get that same energy when a motherfucker calls somebody a kike? Can we have that kike energy when a motherfucker call me, when a motherfucker come up missing? When a motherfucker's hanging from a tree? Can we get that kike faggot energy? Can black folks get that? I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. But let me know what you think. Let me know. Am I bugging? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like if you fucking with it. And I really, 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 really want to know what you think about all of this. Because I think they get more juice than we do. And they ain't went through half the shit that we went through. You know what I'm saying? And that's truly how I feel. And I'm not doing no hate speech. I'm not talking down on the Jewish community. I fucks with the motherfuckers. The good people, just like white people, just like black people, just like every walk of life has good and bad. Black folks, we got dirty dog motherfuckers that deserve to be fucked up for real. Chester molesters, rapists, murderers, child predators, human traffickers. Like I'm talking about those down there. We got them. We got them in our community. You got them in your community too. Spanish community, Asian community. We all got our fuckheads. So let's not talk about like this is some hate speech video. You know what I'm saying? Like get the fuck out of here and I will fight this video to the end. Okay? This is just kicking real motherfucking facts. And why is it that when we discuss particulars in our history, why is it a problem? Let me know what you think about that below, because it seems I don't like the fact that my ancestry has to do with slavery for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and then after those hundreds of years they was still getting fucked up because of all these Jim Crow laws, and they was still getting hung from trees and still forced into slavery in some states, and then after that, it was this, and after that, I don't like that about my history. So why is it that when there's some fucked up shit pointed out about your history, it's this whole motherfucking problem? Like, what the fuck is that about? But I'm starting to ramble. It's getting too late. I ain't ate nothing. It's time for me to go to bed. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit me up on the gram at Real Talking Healthy Food. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you care. Share if you dare. Okay. Shout out to the motherfucking Care Bears. That's right. And I'm gonna just see you on the next one. Peace, love, and hair grease, and all that jazz. I'm out.